For sure, they are much more interesting than before, compared to 05 and 06 and last bus tours through Spain, San Sebastian and all these things. Now it's just really focused on what we see globally or internationally. It's the city centers or the core investment markets like this, and not the outskirts, whatever this means, urbanization or all these retail warehouse markets in the middle of nowhere, except of factory outlets, to be honest. But this again where you see the acquisition profile for all these investors, they come absolutely close together. On one hand, I wouldn't say that the market enlarged, but more people, more parties ask for the same kind of stuff, let's say this, and some get 10 millions more due to their explanation and their risk adjustment, and others say, looking back, say, what's going on there? Can we be part of the race or the lemmings, let's say this. So this is again, you're in the market, so you have to deal with these things. For me, it's much more of interest looking more than 5 years in future. And this is again where I see more the rationality behind all these investments on one hand. On the other hand, I think this is still, I would say, much more status quo analysis. I've heard some absolutely reasonable stories. As 4 weeks ago, one of the biggest Indish fashion retailer closed not his shops. He closed it 2 years ago. He closed also his website and starts selling his clothes via app. And this again, hearing this, India, compared to Europe, it's a mass market, and maybe it's a kind of a signal on one hand. On the other hand, meanwhile, 40 South Chinese regional banks are totally bankrupt. We don't see a red line on CN or on NTV or whatever. So this again, this is the environment we act in. 6 years ago, with such 40 regional banks that are bankrupt, we get shock on nothing happens beside these things. And this again, where we find our own, let's say, radar, how deal with these things. Some make sense to ask for a much more higher price, to be honest, if they are in a city center or have a short-term lease or not a long-term, because I can make more development things going out there to mixed use, let's say this. On the other hand, some is maybe a little bit nuts to doing this. Then you are for sure part of the lemming phenomenon we see for sure.